Snacks in hand, the vibe is set, and once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much, because you gotta stay fine, but come on, bestie, it's story time. So, for the sake of this story, let's call this girl Jasmine. So, Jasmine's great-grandparents owned about 78 acres of land from the 1920s through 1960s. It stayed in the family, and it was just, passed down from generations to generations. And it ended up being passed down, of course, to Jasmine's grandparents. But here's the kicker. Back in the 1800s, before her family even owned that land, this lady was on that land, and her body was never recovered. And some people even said that her body was buried right on that land, and her spirit stayed and never left. So fast forward, Jasmine actually grew up on that land. She grew up with her mom and her grandparents, and for the most part, her childhood was pretty normal, except for the fact that, whenever she was there, she would always see, black, shadowy figures around the house, around the land, but nobody really talked about it or stressed it. Everyone pretty much always goes on with their day whenever, it happens. They treated it like it was normal. Anyways, there comes this one night. Jasmine's about 5 or 6 years old at the time. Her grandmother, let's call her Ruth. Her grandmother's there with her. She's sitting at the dining table, coloring her books. Miss Ruth is sitting right there too, watching TV. And as she's sitting there coloring her books, the TV turns off and then turns back on. And they both were kind of like, okay, weird, but whatever, it's back on. And about 30 seconds after that happens, the lights start flickering like crazy. Miss Ruth is sitting there there must be a power surge. The TV just turned off and turned back on, and now the lights are flickering. What is going on? And as she's saying that, the light starts to flicker brighter and faster until the light bulb exploded. And shattered glass is now all over the floor. Still, they didn't panic because Miss Ruth is still thinking, yeah, we're having some electrical issue, right? But at this point, Jasmine is starting to really be scared because she's 5 at the time. And kids feel that kind of stuff, Miss Ruth basically tells her hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to go grab another light bulb. We're going to put it back and everything's going to be fine. And she walks to the back of the house, leaving Jasmine in the living room. Haitian. Fucking Haitian. Wait, Jasmine is in the living room by herself, terrified. And as she's standing in the living room, one of those black shadowy figures she's been seeing appears again. Except it doesn't disappear. Usually it'll come and go, but this time it didn't disappear at all. Instead, it starts walking towards Jasmine. When Jasmine turned to look directly at it, it locked eyes with Jasmine and was just staring at her. So at this point, Miss Ruth comes back, and Jasmine is like, Grandma, the shadowy figure came and it's staring at me. Grandma, help. Miss Ruth is like, oh my God, you and your imagination. There's no shadowy figure staring at you, girl. You probably just need glasses. Jasmine is like, Grandma, it's over there. And Miss Ruth turns, ready to tell Jasmine, see, there's nobody there. Except that wasn't the case, because there was indeed somebody there. Grandma turns, and Grandma sees exactly what Jasmine is seeing. And now Grandma's terrified. She's frozen. Her whole face turned ghost white. And as soon as she made eye contact with that thing, the entire house started shaking. Now shit is getting real. Some scary movie type shit, y'all. The house started shaking. The glass case where, all grandmas keep their fine chinas, it exploded. Chinas are flying out of that bitch. Everything is getting shattered. Shit is getting real. And Jasmine, poor baby, she's there terrified. And as she's watching this happen, she felt it. She felt something behind her. Before she could even think that she feels something behind her, she started to float off the floor. I told y'all this was some scary movie type shit. She started floating off of the floor. All of a sudden, she couldn't breathe. She was being choked. She is off the floor, choking for a full 20 to 30 seconds. Miss Ruth is watching this happen. And when the thing, whatever it is, decided they wanted to stop stop choking Jasmine, it dropped her, right? And Jasmine fell to the floor. So Miss Ruth ran over to Jasmine and looked at Jasmine's neck, and there were handprints all over her neck. Actually, no, there were 2 giant handprints over her neck. So immediately, Miss Ruth takes Jasmine, runs out the house, calls her daughter, Jasmine's mom. Tell her, please come home immediately. I don't know what the hell is happening, but you need to come home. Mind you, the house is still shaking. Anyways, fast forward, Jasmine's mom comes, but the funny thing is, the moment she walks into the house, everything stops. All the shaking, the glass shattering, the things flying, it stops. Everything went dead silent. Safe to say, after that situation, Jasmine and I can't speak today. Jasmine and her mom moved out very shortly after. But Miss Ruth stayed in that house because she inherited it, you know? Unfortunately, what is happening? I'm not deleting none of them. Anyway, until the day that Miss Ruth ended up passing away, she was tormented a lot. She had night terrors every night. She'd wake up with bruises all over her body. She ended up in the hospital like many times from just exhaustion. Anyways, fast forward to now. Well, not now. Last spring, the family ended up selling the property because they just couldn't anymore. They did warn the new owners about everything that they went through, everything that happened. And guess what? Right now, the owners are dealing with the same things. They're experiencing the same things, if not worse. But at least they took that off their chest. Like, they don't got to deal with that anymore. Feel bad for the new owners, but, you know. Anyways, that's the story. Come catch me perform at Brooklyn Unity Fex. I'm just going to end the video. Snacks in hand, the vibe is set, and once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much, because you got to stay fine. But come on, bestie, it's story time. I started with music last time. I don't know if y'all liked it or not. It was like a 50-50 for me. But the intro is staying. That's our little intro now. Anyway, you already know. Go get your snacks and show me what you're eating. Here's what I'm eating. For the sake of the story, let's call this person who submitted this story Jenny. I feel like I used that name last time. Anyway, this story is from Turks and Caicos. So Jenny's homegirl's sister, let's call her Tasha. Now, Tasha was a teacher, a really good one at that. She had this student, one of her students, whose dad, let's call him Fritz. Fritz used to go to their church, so they're a little familiar to each other. Tasha was teaching Fitz's daughter. Did I say Fitz or Fritz? We're going to go with Fitz. So from first grade and up, Tasha taught his daughter. So, you know, with all that time, they got a little close. Not them, but like their families got a little close, right? She would for sure help his daughter with school, and sometimes she would even drop her off, you know, at home whenever she needed it. There was something about Fitz that was always off. The moment she met Fitz in the first place, she always got a weird vibe from him. His facial expressions were always strange. Just like a feeling that you just can't shake off. Anyway, so one day, Fitz randomly calls Tasha to come and help him with his internet box, which weird as fuck, because why are you a grown man asking a younger lady than you to come help with the internet box? I mean, if you think about it, it's not that weird, but it is weird. Oh, it's definitely weird because you don't have no other grown men that can help you with that. Anyway, moving on. So she agrees and she goes to his house to help him. And as she's walking up to their house, she sees like his neighbors looking at her weird. And they're like whispering. And she kind of caught on to some of what they're saying. They were basically saying like, why is she hanging out with this weird ass family? You don't know what she's getting herself into. And of course that like raised an eyebrow for her, but she's like, you know, neighbors can be very wicked sometimes. She don't know the full story, so whatever. She brushes it off, but it doesn't take away from the fact that now it's extra weird. So boom, before she could even go in, Fitz is like, hey, can you drop us off somewhere? We need a ride. Tasha's like, yeah, sure. So they start to head to the car, and she's thinking Fitz is gonna get in the passenger seat, but he tries to get in the back seat. Tasha's like, why don't, just sit in the front seat? And he insisted on sitting in the back seat. And it took a minute, too, of, back and forth. And then finally, Tasha's like, this man really want to sit in the back seat. But weird, but, okay, I guess. So they get in the car, and she starts driving. And the air just felt heavy. Just something felt wrong. Something felt off. Something just does not feel right. Whatever, she takes them, they do what they need to do, and they head back to their house. She gets back to their house and she helps them fix the internet box. She helps them, she finishes, and she goes home. When she gets home, something's wrong. She's feeling dizzy, she has a headache. She mentions it to her family, and so her mom is like, what were you doing before you came? Because their family is super religious. I'm talking prayer warriors, very spiritually gifted. So little things like that they catch on to. By the way, they're Haitians, but they just lived in Turks and Caicos, so this is like Haitians. Anyway, so the moment mom heard that, like, that gut feeling was like, something's wrong. So she calls up cousin, who has a third eye and sees things that the human eye can't see. Very gifted cousin. Like I said, the whole family is gifted. Anyway, so mom basically like tells her what happened. Like, she has a headache, this is what she wants to do, this is how the situation happened, it was weird, the guy wanted to get in the backseat, all the details. And so cousin listens, and she listens, and when mom is done, she's basically like, yeah, she should have never went there. In fact, cousin says she was actually a sacrifice. What was supposed to happen was a car accident. That's why he insisted on sitting in the back so bad. The accident was supposed to happen. Fitz and his daughter, they were gonna disappear and leave Tasha there to die. Yeah. Cousin says, y'all need to stay away from that man. No rides, nothing. Stay away from him. They do exactly that, except the man keeps popping up. Still trying to talk to Sasha. Still trying to have conversations. It got so bad to where one day Tasha was in her classroom grading papers, and she had her door locked. And as she's grading papers, she looks outside, and the man is staring into the classroom, standing there just staring at her into the classroom, not saying nothing. That's not even the worst part. So one night, everyone's at home, Tasha's in her room minding her business. As she's sitting there in her room, something is piercing at her to close her damn window. She tries to shake it off a couple times, but the thing is like, close your fucking window. Her gut is like, close it now. So she gets up and she closes the window. Y'all, I kid y'all not. The moment after she closes the window, boom, a big ass rock hits her glass window. She knew nobody was supposed to be outside. It's the middle of the night. The backyard lights were off, like nobody's outside. After that happened, she got startled, of course. And so she peeked through the curtain. She saw a tall, dark figure by their picnic bench. Just as quick as she saw it was just as quick as it disappeared. I don't know what Fitz and his daughter were. Thank God for discernment. I'll be careful out here. That's the story. That's all they gave me. So I don't have anything else. So I'm assuming they're good though, because she's submitting the story, and the family is heavily protected. So that's why Tasha survived that ride in the first place, because she was supposed to get into a car accident. One thing we can learn from this story is to listen to that little voice in your head. Trust that voice that tells you this don't feel right. Anyways, your girl is coming out with new music. I will be performing in Brooklyn August 2nd and July 31st at the Brooklyn Unity Fest. So if you're from New York, Brooklyn, come see your girl perform. I'll be performing at the pre-show and the after party. This is the cover for my new song, Believe Me. Y'all gonna like it. Y'all gonna love it, actually. And this is the information if you want to come watch me perform. I know y'all like my story, but don't sleep on me when it comes to music. I hate for you to have to say, oh my gosh, I knew her when she used to tell stories and I didn't take it serious. Shout out to the ones that do. I love you guys. Okay, bye. Snacks in hand. The vibe is set. And once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much because you gotta stay fine. But come on, bestie, it's story time. You better have been singing with me too, because at this point you should know it. So if you didn't sing, go ahead and start this video over. Don't mind that little glare that y'all see. It's my screen protector. It has like a crack. Anyways, on to the story. Also, by the way, I just posted another YouTube video of like a compilation of all my stories. It's like an hour, so. Anyways, so this story is from one of my followers that's from Papua New Guinea. I don't know how to pronounce. I'm Haitian, so please forgive me if I'm not saying it right. But shout out to New Guinea. Anyway, so they're originally from there, but now they live in Australia. But this was actually her mom's story. So back then, her mom used to live in a village where witchcraft wasn't just story times or rumors. It was real. And people didn't play with that. Her mom, she kind of reminds me of my dad. If y'all knew like my dad's stories, he's like a rebel, an explorer. That was like her mom. Anyway, so one night she went out with her cousins and her uncles. They went to like play and mess around this like old hut. Now, everybody knows never to even go around that hut, but you know kids. Anyway, so they're there and they're playing, and so mom gets an idea to throw what? I'm leaving that in because y'all need to be seeing. I meant to say rocks. She gets an idea to start throwing rocks at the hut. Her sister's like, no, we're not even supposed to be playing around this hut and you want to throw rocks at it? Girl, no. But of course she didn't listen and she threw the rocks. But what she didn't know was that hut actually belonged to an old woman who was rumored to be a witch. Actually, no, not rumored. They definitely knew she was a witch, but she just didn't know. Boom. She threw her rocks. She had fun and she went home thinking everything is going to be just fine. But little did she know, She gets home and nighttime comes and she's getting ready for bed. And as she's getting ready for bed, she starts to hear whistling. But here's the thing. In their village, when you hear whistling, you're supposed to immediately cover your ears. Because if you don't, whatever spirit or person that you've angered, they're going to get you. Not in a dream, but for real. They're going to for real get you. Anyway, so her mom brushes it off and she thinks, oh, maybe it's the wind, right? And she goes to sleep. And when she goes to sleep, she has a terrifying dream. A dream that's going to change her. She had a dream that she was back at that hut, except she was frozen. Frozen in fear, like she literally could not move. And in front of her was that old woman. The woman was just sitting there smiling. Not a warm smile, a very creepy smile. Her nails were long as hell and sharp. And all of a sudden, the woman just decided to just scratch her across her back. To the point where her mom even flinched in the dream. Boom, she woke up. Weird nightmare, terrifying, but whatever. She goes on about her day. She goes to breakfast. As she's eating breakfast, her grandpa looks at her and asks her, what is that across your back? Who scratched you like that? And mom is like, what are you talking about? And she runs to the mirror to figure out what grandpa's talking about. When she went to the mirror, there it was. The same place that old woman scratched her in her sleep. Those scratches are right across her back. She started shaking. Can you imagine your dream following you into the real world? Yeah, she was terrified. Instantly in her head, she's like, oh my gosh, I have to go back and apologize to the lady. Like, I have to apologize. But something in her told her, don't you dare go back there. You already got yourself in enough. Ultimately, she just didn't go, which is a good thing. Thank God she didn't go. Because that very night, one of her cousins that she went to that hut that day went missing. Mind you, this is a school night. No one knows what happened to him, but the whispers in the village definitely said it was her. It was that old woman. The craziest part is, till this day, he's still missing. They never found him. So next time you hear whistling at night, block your ears. No, I'm just playing. You're fine. Well. Anyway, that's the story. I posted a new YouTube video. This is crazy. Don't forget to click the link in my bio and get my cleansed and covered book if you want to protect yourself from those things. Or if you just want to heal yourself, you can get the healing book. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Snacks in hand, the vibe is set, and once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much because you got to stay fine, but come on, bestie, it's story time. You ever just locked eyes with something or someone and just immediately knew, like, dude, there's nothing human about you. You know it's something in there. Hey, bestie, as always, go get your snack and comment a picture of it in the comments. I want to see what y'all eating because I know they're not snacks for real. So turns out, hell yeah, I was shadow banned. But I guess that last video kind of got me out of the shadow ban thing. I don't know. We're going to see. Okay, on to the story time. I'm a little congested, so bear with me. So, back in 2017, for the sake of the story, let's call this woman Harley. Now, Harley was working as a receptionist at a hospital clinic. However, Harley is not just your regular day-to-day receptionist. She's a spiritual one, the kind that keeps holy water at her desk. Baby, she's prepared. She makes sure that she pray every shift to cleanse all the energy. So boom, one afternoon, there's this elderly woman that walks in and she comes in to just update some paperwork. Nothing unusual, but she wasn't alone. Her daughter was with her. From the moment not my phone overheating. Anyway, from the moment that they walked up to the desk, Harley just knew that something felt off. The daughter never looked up. She just kept her head down the whole time, didn't say anything. She just stood there. Odd, but whatever. So she helps them. I know y'all just saw that. You know what? I'm gonna even post this so y'all what? Anyway, we're gonna try to keep going. So she helps them, right? And as soon as she's done helping them, that's when the daughter decides to look up. And when she looked up at Harley, her eyes were pitch black. Not just dark, not just tired, but no soul black. She was staring straight into Harley's soul. And at that moment, that's when Harley knew, yeah, that baby gone. Whoever's in that baby, nothing good. As she looked closer, she realized the girl also had pointy teeth, sharp teeth. And after she saw that, she was like, She starts rebuking it in her head. She's praying and rebuking it in her head. And the whole time, that girl is still staring into Harley's soul. Mind you, her and her mom walked away at this point to go sit down, and she's still staring at Harley. But here's where it gets weirder, right? Because obviously she still had to keep doing her job. So she had other tasks to do, so she ended up walking past them. Why did the girl trip her? Like, she legit tried to trip her. Thank God Harley didn't fall. But after that happened, she turned around and looked at her, and that little girl gave her the most evil smile that she could see. That moment, Harley's like, see, yeah, no, I'm not about to play with you. She walked back to her desk, and as she's walking back, she's looking. The girl is still staring at her. She's like, I bet, I got something for you. So she gets the holy water that she had at her desk, and she starts cleaning her entire desk with the holy water, the floor with where the girl was standing on, even the air where the girl was breathing. And as soon as she started doing that, why did the little evil girl go and grab her head like she got a headache and tell her mom, my head hurts? That was confirmation for Harley to know that she's not bugging. There's a demon in there. So she continued to do what she was doing, continued to cleanse the area, and eventually they had to leave. So next time you walk into a hospital or like an office building and your gut is telling you that something's off, or you just feel like a chill for no reason, because not all demons comes in with horns in their heads. Some of them wait in the lobby with their heads down. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but something did not want me to get this story out. Anyways, if you want to know how to protect yourself from these things, the link is in my bio. I have an ebook that teaches you how to do just that. I've had so many great reviews of people saying their lives are literally changing because of it. So take it from them, not me. So please engage with my content so I don't get shadow banned again. Like, I don't want to stay separated to y'all. I love you guys. Okay, bye. Snacks in hand, the vibe is set, and once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much because you got to stay fine, but come on, bestie, it's story time. I liked the intro last time, so I think I'm going to start using that. Anyways, we have a problem. I'm shadow banned so bad. Like, it's not even funny. And I don't do nothing. So when y'all see this, make sure you share it, you repost it, you like whatever it is that gets me out of the shadow banning phase. Because, like, I can't reach y'all. We used to be like this. And TikTok is separating us. I don't like that. No, but like, seriously, what is happening? Anyways, on to the story time. Now, I've made story times about the Hat Man before, so I guess this is another episode of somebody that met the Hat Man. If you don't know about the Hat Man, I made a video. If you want me to do a new one, I'll make a new one. But a lot of people have claimed to see the Hat Man. Even my godfather. I actually have that story posted too. My own godfather had an encounter with the Hat Man. For the sake of the story, let's call this guy Joshua. So Joshua is about 5 or 6 years old at the time, and he had a friend in school. Let's call him Reggie. Really good friends. They play together all the time, so ultimately they end up having a play date. And so the play date turns into other play dates, and the other play dates into sleepover. Was that even a full sentence? I'm not redoing it. Anyway, it comes the night where they have the sleepover. Obviously, the parents communicated everything is good. They're good to go. Parents, you know, they like each other. So Joshua gets dropped off at Reggie's house. And they're having a good time. They're playing, all of that. Everything goes well. And then it's bedtime, and they get ready to go to bed. They had bunk beds. And so Joshua decided that he wanted to sleep at the bottom because, you know, it's Reggie's bunk bed. But then Reggie's like, no, actually, I don't mind. Like, you're my guest. You can sleep at the top if you want to. He was being a really good friend. So boom, that's what happens. Joshua goes and he sleeps at the top of the bunk bed. Great! They go to sleep. Joshua wakes up at exactly 3 in the morning because Reggie had like a Toy Story alarm clock. And that's how he knew it was 3 a.m. exactly when he woke up, because he happened to look down and he's looking at Reggie's little like work, you know, table where the clock is, and it says 3 o'clock. And so he looks over there and he sees 3 o'clock. He's like, weird. Let me try to go back to sleep. And as he's turning his eyes to flip himself over to go to sleep, he sees a man. He sees a man in a hat standing over Reggie on the other side of the bunk bed. And so immediately he was frozen in fear. He wanted to scream. He wanted to make noises, but he could not. And so he's genuinely terrified. And this man-looking thing, and he couldn't even really see a face. It's just a man in all black with a hat standing over Reggie. And just when he thought it couldn't get any scarier, the man turns his face right to look at Joshua directly. Except
Joshua still couldn't see a face, but he can tell that the head was moving. At that point, he immediately goes like this on the bed to pretend like he didn't see anything. And that's where he fucked up, because the moment he did that, he feels like something pinned him down. He couldn't speak, he couldn't move, his body was pinned. He's laying there, tears coming out his face. So he does the one thing that he knows how to do. He starts praying. He starts doing a little prayer in his head, because at that point he's freaking out. He don't know what's happening. He prays for a few and he finally is able to move again. So he sits up, he looks down, man is gone. And all of this is happening so fast. So he looks down, realizes the man is gone, and at the moment he realizes the man is gone, Reggie jumps out of his sleep, screaming, crying. Parents run in the room thinking they were probably playing around or something like that and he got hurt. But no, Reggie looks genuinely terrified. And when his parents ask him, what's wrong? Did you have a nightmare? Reggie says, yes, I had a dream that there was a man in a hat choking me and I couldn't breathe. Once Joshua heard that, Joshua told them about what he saw. And the parents immediately gave this look to each other. They took the kids to the living room. Parents called Joshua's parents to come pick him up, and they came, they picked him up. And it's safe to say, after that, they didn't go back to Reggie's house. But that was Joshua's experience with the Hat Man. He still saw Reggie in school. They still played, they still spoke, but it was never really the same again. So yeah, that's the story. I hope y'all get to see this story actually, because I posted something and it's not, I don't know. Anyways, make sure you click the link in my bio to get your Cleansed and Covered book if you want to know how to cover yourself from, them things. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Also, can y'all please interact with my other content? Please? Hey, I can't sleep, so you know what's going on. So, I was sitting here in the dark. Kinda. No, I have a nightlight on. I don't do the dark. But I was sitting here and I was thinking about that one time when I was in Haiti, when my friend was telling me how she was walking home from school one day, right? Yo, this is you can't make this shit up. She was walking home from school one day and she talked to a bird. She talked to a bird, and the bird told her to tell her mom not to go to church this weekend, right? Cool. So she goes home and she tells her mom, hey, I was walking home from school and I saw this bird and the bird was talking to me. It was so weird. The bird was talking to me and I was kind of scared, but the bird told me to tell you not to go to church the following Sunday. And so mom didn't seem like she was surprised at all. She didn't seem like, oh my gosh, you spoke to a bird. She was just like, you spoke to a bird and that's what it said? And she was just like, yeah. And mom was like, okay, well, whatever route that you take to school, you don't take that route anymore. I'm going to have somebody come get you from school every day, right? Boom. So following Sunday comes. Mom didn't go to church. Mom did not go to church. She stayed her butt home. Everybody else went to church but her, right? Boom. So they go to church. They come back and they find mom on the floor in the kitchen, passed out, non-responsive. She's unfortunately unalive. But here's the kicker. She's unalive. They call the doctor. The doctor looks over her and everybody's watching over her. Not watching over her, but everybody's you go through the process when somebody gets unalived. And so they get to the morgue. And so, everybody's heartbroken, everybody's crying, everybody's, and then the little girl tells dad about what happened. And then they take mom's body to the morgue. It's been about 2 days now. 2 days later, mom just wakes up from the morgue. She just rose. She just woke up from the dead. Her mom is still alive till this day. They don't know what happened. Well, no, they know what happened. They didn't want to tell her what happened, but they knew what happened. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about that and thought I'd share it with y'all since I can't sleep. Well, good night.
তুলিকে আমি বিয়ে করবো। ওকে মামু তাহলে তো নাচবো গান হইব সব হইব জাকানাকা দেহ দোলানা।
আমি তোমাদের বিয়েতে রাজি হতে পারি, কিন্তু একটা শর্ত আছে আমার।
একটা শর্ত কেন? 1000টা শর্ত দিতে পারবো বাবা।
24 ঘন্টা তোমার ফোন তুলির কাছে থাকবে, তুলির ফোন তোমার কাছে থাকবে।
জি আঙ্কেল। কি আঙ্কেল?
আগে বল আমি তোর কি হই?
তুই আমার ভালোবাসার মানুষ।
এই এগুলো কি? দেখ তো, দেখ ভালো করে দেখ, দেখ 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 দেখ।
আরে দেখতে পারতেছ?
নার্গিসটা কে আমাকে বল।
নার্গিস হচ্ছে আমার দাদি।
তুই মরা দাদির সাথে রেস্টুরেন্টে গেছিলি? মরা দাদিরে কি সুপার অন্তুন খাওয়াইছিলি? আর
ও সত্যি বলতেছে, আমি রিয়া ফিয়া কাউকে চিনি না।
ওই বিয়েটা বেটে তোরে ফ্লাইং কিস দেয়, আবার সে ফ্লাইং কিস ব্যাকও করে। আমি নীল আকাশের তারা আইডিটা তুই চালাইতি।
তোমার
আমি স্বপ্ন দেখছি। অনেক খারাপ স্বপ্ন।
এলাকার মানুষজন কয় ওরি নাকি পাগল।
ওরে ময়না ময়না।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ডাক্তার সাহেব।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম।
দুটো টান দেন।
কিছু কিছু সময় বদলাইতে হয়।
ভালোবাসাটা দিলাও না, ভালোবাসাটা নিলাও না।
তুই হলো ছোট পাগল, আমি হলাম বড় পাগল।
আলো আধারে